Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. We're going to talk about Bounty 39, maybe some things you should be doing before the next raid. Do we know the name of that next raid yet? And I just forgot it.
I think it's Grindfest, electrical something.
Okay,
Electrical storm.
the electric grind. So let me go ahead and introduce everybody. Lady Cat,
Hello.
Two Doors,
Gobble gobble, bitch.
Kenny.
Hello there.
Okay, and, hey, and Derpy.
Pardon me.
Alrighty, very good. All right, well, let's go to the bug fixes. All right, continued improvements to canvas resizing in HTML5. I know what a canvas is, but I don't know what it means relative to this. But in regards to HTML5, at least on my computer, I realized an issue when I was doing Prize Pack 1 of Cyberstrike a couple of minutes ago, that normally what I personally do is I check a lot on my task manager in order to make sure that I don't have too much memory usage on a single process inside of Chrome. And historically, what I would do is if it, the Battle Pirates one is the one that has all the memory usage. And what I would just cancel that single process and then refresh the tab. But I realized when I was doing that in HTML5, it was causing my my range and weird things to happen inside of Battle Pirates. Like I just completed a last encounter in Prize Pack 4 without any ranges, so I was just doing sort of semi-blind. I could see everything, but I didn't know the range of my weapons. Still did it for instant repair, got all the way through it with instant repair in the dock, but you need to completely shut down. If you're having this problem, you need to completely shut down Chrome and restart it if you think you're gonna have memory issues that would lead to lag or other things like that. But maybe some people are not having these problems at all. But once I completely refreshed Chrome, it was back and working as normal. So, anybody else have any thought on bug fixes? Okay. If not, we can.
It's actually been relatively smooth for me. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, especially with how you're coming through.
Your voice isn't relatively smooth. You keep breaking up.
He is a robot. He has integrated with the machine. That is how his game is smooth. They are one.
And if he's having, with that internet connection, if he's having better luck than I am in playing Battle Pirates, then there's some issues going on. All right, we have Bounty this week. Also, we're supposed to hear, I don't see an announcement yet, but we're supposed to have the rules for the ship show contest that should be hopefully drops during the show. They call it the boat show, but everybody ships, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they thought it made more sense to call it the boat show, but who knows. Then we have the new hall calendar. CM Diary monthly check-in, and we're having a monthly check-in right now, so maybe that's off, but all right. Let's move to the PvE calendar. This week we have Cyberstrike, no special activity this week, and then next week we have Pillage with your Mutineers and Everest. And then the raid.
Already.
Yeah.
Is anybody going to get their upgrades done?
Oh, I'm slowly going on my Photon ones. I guess the question here is, I need to save the. Do I need to save the Forsaken Mission tokens I get this week?
Well, let's see. We have this week and next week, and then the raids. So, yeah.
Okay.
The answer is yes. So, I mean, I personally have a full set of chests, and I haven't started the FM. So I gotta figure out a way to spend those.
I blew a few on some PvP stuff.
Okay. All right. Let's move to the next step then. Whatever that might be. Cyber Strike. Just encourage people to do it. It's the same one it's the same targets that we saw in the previous Cyber Strike or in the Gatekeeper Piranha, whatever the name of that was last week. Personally, I do really well in prize packs encounters 1 through 3. Easy, like 10 minutes of damage. Once you get past encounter 4, the ships become a pain in the butt. Still taking less damage, it just is taking more time. So however you want to deal with that, I might be going to a situation, because I want to get this done as quickly as possible. I might go to a situation where I do the first 3 with the Cyber Strike, let it keep on repairing, and then
with the what? With the what? You called it the Cyber Strike.
Oh, with the photons, and then move into the now they threw me off, the
Zealot.
Yeah. So, but I don't know.
I'm just going to auto all the encounters with, maybe stack up first, but just auto all of them with my zealots.
All 7 of them?
Yep.
How much damage do you take to?
About 98% of the fleet.
Okay, so it's going to take you 5, 6, 7, 8 days or something like that.
Pretty much.
Okay, I need to get mine done faster so I can, get things moving. So I'm gonna go with my approach. Anybody else have any thoughts on this TLC? Because we have seen these targets before.
Yeah, I've taken more damage than you. But I'll half auto, half drive, and I'll get it done. I mean, I have to get it done. I need these tokens, but there's only 5 upgrade tokens. It's not going to help me a huge amount.
Yeah,
and I have 5 ships to upgrade.
Yeah, Ninja, we have seen it, and we'll get to that. There's some stuff they have said and some stuff they haven't said, but we're gonna. Alrighty, well, let's move on. All right, they nerfed the Bathyal depth charge. The one on the left is what we received, and the one on the right is, I'm assuming this occurred. I didn't really see any details because it came out in a bounty briefing, not in the update briefing. This occurred with the update, or was it a hot fix afterwards? Does anybody know?
I'm unsure.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not sure, because I got hit afterwards, and they still seemed after the update, and they still seem quite effective, but I am not certain if this was a hot fix or part of the update. So I don't know if this actually has happened yet, or if it happened, if it was in the update notes, then I would know when it happened, but I don't know if this has occurred yet or not. What is telegraph reload? It is the period of time where you see the little arc show up before it starts to fire.
And the important part there is the turret always goes through that cycle. It's always going to have a 1 second telegraph reload if it's 1 second here. You can't reduce that with reload or any other function. It's always going to be that long. So the decimator with a 1 second reload, 1 second telegraph reload, even if you cut that reload time down to like 0.1 second, it's never going to fire faster than 1 shot a second.
Yeah. And the other side of it is you also see this with the NPC, the PvP targets. You can flash over across that arc, and it's not going to fire for that 1 second. So if you get out before the second's over, you're not going to get fired at. So I think that's another point in regards to this. So basically, they've tripled the salvos, which my mind is, so basically without any specials, each salvo related to deflection was doing 3 million damage. Now they're doing 1 million damage.
Which is pretty substantial because it's the damage per shot there that actually matters. So if you're cutting that down, I mean, you're reducing that quite significantly.
Yeah, so if somebody had, we'll just make round numbers. So if obviously, not that somebody has 1 million deflection, but just to make sense, previously, if you had 1 million deflection, the ship had 1 million deflection, your base damage of 3 million would get turned to 2 million in before, and then now it's getting turned to nothing, if that makes sense. On top of that, they've lowered the splash, and they've increased the reload by a second.
And they've changed this from an accuracy-based turret to a dumbfire turret. Is that right?
I don't know that I saw them talk about that.
I'm fairly sure they have. On the left, it says accuracy 150, which means if it tracks your ship, it's going to hit it. On the right, it can now miss if you drive faster. So it's never really even going to do that whole 1 million damage per shot anyway.
So would you get rid of it? I mean, I hate nerfs. I hate them.
The new stat block that I'm seeing in the patch notes, it doesn't have an accuracy stat on it.
Right.
So that's
possible.
Yeah, and it's so like it's interesting because a lot of nerfs or buffs are typically done in small amounts unless there was some egregious error. And Accounting Brian, who's looking at his number pad on the right side of his keyboard, can maybe see, oh, you meant to hit 6, not 3 when you put in the salvo number, and people somehow approved it and carried on. But like, you have devalued one of the newest base defense weapons, if not the newest in the game, by 2/3.
That was the newest though, wasn't it?
I believe so. You done fucked up. You done fucked up. Like this just wasn't tested. Something horrible has to happen when you nerf something by 2/3. Now, if they want to if they're trying to over nerf it to maybe buff it a little bit, maybe bring the salvo down from 9 to 8 to 7, people go, yay, it got buffed. Well, that's still more changes, even if they're seen in a positive light of the psychology of, yeah, they buffed the thing I got. I feel a little bit better now. But you got to look a little beyond that.
Yeah.
I don't know that this makes the turret. I mean, I agree with what you're saying there. I don't know that this makes it too good or too bad or whatever else. I still have 3 and I still have 5 decimators, maybe 4 decimators. So I'm still using mine.
Short range derpy.
Yep.
And then the other thing, because Ninja Penguin was asking about telegraph reload. Another aspect, which I don't think we've gotten a complete answer on, is, and another nerf in this turret is the splash has gone from 6 to 12 to 2 to 4. And what I understand at this point is that 6 is the base number for the splash, and then 12 is the maximum number. So, but I'm assuming that's what it is, but I've never seen that explained, like in the forums or anywhere that's, you know, maybe, you know, that's the way we think it works in Discord. But it makes sense unless it's like, okay, the splash is going to be somewhere between 6 and 12. It's a random thing. I don't know. Have anybody else got any confirmed, knowledge as far as what that range means? Okay, well, that's one theory. Is that's the maximum. So if somehow you were able to achieve over 100% splash, it's not really going to work for you, if that's true. Yeah. And again, I don't know if it's, I don't know if this was part of the update that occurred, or there's a hot fix afterwards. But that said, it performed. I only have one in, and it performed. It seemed to perform quite well when I got hit earlier today. But I don't know if that's changed in the meantime. So I wouldn't go ahead and start making too many changes until we get, some better knowledge on this. So, alrighty. Well, if we're done with that, but yeah, they need to test these things. It's not like they magically change from one place to another. So, Bounty 39. It's getting harder and harder to come up with the numbers. 40 is going to be easy. 41, not so much. So,
somebody go get tattooed and take a picture.
Yep. That's. I think we're going to sign Derpy up for that, right? And
Yeah. We'll go next to my Harlock tattoo.
What?
We'll go next to my Harlock tattoo.
Well, I'm thinking more of a brand. I think that's more fitting.
No, I'm not a fan.
Okay. Alrighty. And all right. All right. And let's see what we got with Bounty 39. Here are the targets. The same grouping of the targets that we saw last month. So everybody should be familiar with that. As far as I can tell, there's no changes. So
are there new? I heard that they were going to be. Did the update notes say a further variety?
Yeah, it said something, but I wasn't sure what they meant.
So
I was
you might
hoping
have
you'd
more targets
tell
than
us.
last time.
I was hoping you would tell us.
I've hit 2 of them.
Okay.
2 of the new targets?
2 of the. I've hit the 97 and the 120, both of which happen to be the quartermaster level.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go through all of them and hit all of them one time to see if they're manageable. The 97 in particular that's the one we like. That's the one that's doable for fairly low repair. So it's the same strategy as it's been the last few times.
Okay.
Where you kill the piranhas,
that is?
maybe retreat. I'm not sure.
Okay. You haven't checked the DN Kicks alliance?
I have not.
Yeah. So, alrighty. Now we can move on. All right, we get the Archimedes long-range turret. I'm not sure why they went with Archimedes here.
Big science word.
It's a person. It's not, it's not a science word. And if we had something that dealt with density, I just don't see.
Maybe if we had say, maybe a character in the game who was like a science person named Brennis, we could use that one instead.
Yeah, if they float across the water, I could see that. That might be, a
If it has
displacement
something to
type of
do with
thing.
the sphere,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it just doesn't.
Okay, this is a long range turret, single salvo, so it's doing 800,000, while the Bayfield depth charge is at 1 million, but can be potentially sniped or splashed out. So this is, and it's got a time 1 or 2. It went from 4 to 5, right? So 2 seconds longer, but it's got a really long range.
This is,
but no splash.
I would have
but no
loved to see you
splash.
compare it to the far sight.
Let me see if I'm still in the game. Yep. Unless anybody can give me anybody else has the game open, give me the raw damage numbers for the far sight. Because when I'm running the show,
I don't have them. I'm in a target right now.
Okay. So if that loads up, I'm assuming it's an increase to some degree. Let me see. Well, like I said, it loads really, really slow when I'm in the game. Anybody else? There we go. 1 second. Turret, and it is 900,000. 907.1.
Yeah, and then they are different damage types, so that is not directly comparable. But the turret is very similar to in terms of what niche it fills. It's very similar to the far sight.
Yeah. The far sight actually does more damage.
With no specials and stuff.
Yeah. Naked. Single salvo, accuracy of 110%. So,
which is the same.
Yeah. So, and projectile speed of 300. So, yeah, they just changed. They added or they subtracted 100,000 and changed the damage type. So, but mix things up and. Yeah, I do. Well, I don't think they're going to change the Archimedes.
Yeah, if it's less damaging at base than another damage type. Well, assuming the specials to bring it out to about equal, it's probably fine.
Yeah. And the firing arc is 55 degrees, so it's it's just the missile version. So let's move on. All right, we have the Conqueror upgrades. I thought it was going to be the armors, but all right, we have the war. Let's deal with the Warhound. That's a little bit more straightforward. We're already at U1, U2. You add an armor slot, and you add 10 million armor. So you're going from 58 to 68 naked. Building damage and wall damage go up 100%, and plus 20,000 deflection for each damage type.
Yeah, and it's important to realize here that building damage plus 100 does not function as a special. It functions as I believe, as an addition number to the base stats on the Warhound.
So let's say you're already at 500. It's going to take you to 600. It's not going to take you to 1,000 or whatever.
Correct. So it's not twice as good. This looks okay. I mean, it looks like it does more damage. Adds on another armor slot. Adds on some. Does it add on another armor? Yeah, it does. Armor slot, more armor points. Not a huge amount better, but
yeah. Okay. And now the trencher, which I think needs a little bit. Again, gets an armor slot, increases ballistic reload by 50%, penetrative reload by 50%, and a built-in anti-ship cannon, which is on all the way on the right. The firing angle, I think, is not a number, but I think it's 360%. Anybody, nanny, your grandmother, or I have no idea, but we
Oh,
assume
that is actually non-degrees. That's how high you heat your oven to make some nice Indian bread.
there we go.
Non
Thank you for the
has
clarification.
2 A's, right?
Beg pardon?
Non has 2 A's in it, though, right?
Yes, it does.
Well, maybe they hit the shift key instead of the A key, typing in that second N.
Maybe there's only room for 4 characters on the firing angle sheet because it's 1, 2, 3, and then degrees. You can't have like 1,000 degrees of a firing angle.
Yeah. So it has a reload time of 16. Give us right now there's a couple weird things. It shows a damage of 125,000. Could you give one click?
By the way, Nan means not a number.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
I introduced that first, but yeah. Well, we think this is 360. Pirates, due to a bug discovered and fixed after testing, we are making changes to the trencher's anti-ship cannon. Splash damage dealt during the testing was higher than the stated value, and we are increasing damage from 125 to 450.
Okay, I had to get clarification in English because this didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Basically, trencher cannon was working at the effectiveness, like it was this level of goodness. Then they discovered some kind of bug and fixed that, which made the cannon trash. So to make the cannon back to that original level of goodness that they wanted to release, they had to buff it up and change the damage by 4x. What kind of bug that makes your cannon like total trash when it was at the level you wanted before? I've got no idea.
I'm more concerned about splash damage was higher than the stated value. Like, someone flipped the polarity of a percentage debuff. It's like, you take minus 90% damage at the edge. Oh, I'm sorry, that's plus 90%. Well,
But
that's too good.
yeah, in theory, they were trying to, I guess, I can't tell if they were just updating to the actual damage it was doing, or they're trying to approximate what the damage they were doing during the testing to make sure that this was working. So this, I think, has another potential to be either a nerf or a buff, in 7 days. Are we going to put odds on that one? That this one might get changed again? Okay.
I mean,
Well, they change most PvP things they implement, so
yeah.
And for what it's worth, at least for the trencher U2 cannon, as we're talking about it, I've been told that the rank bonuses as well as ballistic specials, for example, would affect the built-in weapon.
Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense. If you could step back one, Lady Cat, because it only has a range of 50, you'd think that the specials would have an impact, because otherwise that seems a pretty low range. And then now give us 2 clicks. Okay. I was questioning why it was called anti-ship. It will fire at buildings and walls. It will not just fire at ships, but it does not do any damage to buildings or walls.
So there's a hidden -1 trillion building damage and -1 trillion wall damage stat in there, like the Harrower.
Yeah, but they should have just said building and walls 0. That would have made it. You didn't have to be in Discord or watch the show to be like, okay, well, it's not going to hit, not going to do anything else, right?
In fairness,
Yeah,
I mean, cannon does sort of sound like it would be only ships. If
yeah,
you didn't
it
know
does.
how Valpires worked.
I mean, yeah, anti-ship cannon, it blows up the ships, and it once you say, oh, you can also shoot buildings or walls, and like, well, it's not going to be good against them because it's anti-ship. It's supposed to hurt the ships. But if you look at most stat blocks, if there's no clarifying building or wall damage, you usually assume it's the same damage as normal. And when you consider the armor points and deflections that walls can reach, it makes a little more sense.
Yeah, because you can see things like you'll see damage, and then like submerged damage as an example, and regular damage might be 1,000, and then submerged damage might be 10. I'm just making up numbers, but we have seen this in stat blocks before, where it shows the fact that you have a lower damage associated with other targets. So, and we're assuming this doesn't do any submerged damage. I'm assuming, maybe.
It's my understanding if there's no submerged stat, then that damage value is 0.
But you would assume that if the damage says 125k, it would damage both ships, buildings, and walls, right?
Yeah. So basically, someone who does not know how Battle Pirates has worked for 9 years must have created this thing or something like that.
Yeah. So, alrighty. So it fires at things that can't damage. What's the reload again? Can you go step back twice, Lady Cat? I think it's 16.
Time is 16. So 4.
Yeah.
And then
16.
ballistic reload can get fairly high, probably about 2 seconds, right?
Probably
at the end.
Yeah, because you can put the auto loaders and other things on there that would really
1.5, 2 seconds maybe.
It does. The Trencher's biggest weakness is that it can't shoot at ships. It can't really do damage to ships. So this does help. It makes it more viable going and trying to kill a piranha or an overlord carrier. I like this one in particular.
Okay. Alrighty. Are we done with the Conqueror upgrades?
I guess
Well, we don't know the build time or anything like that, but
I would like
to the upgrade time?
upgrade time,
yeah. I saw one number where somebody put a screenshot of 10 hours, or I'm sorry, 10 days.
Yeah.
And then one of the mods came in and said that was some error in the update and said it was 8 days.
Yeah, fuck that too.
Yeah.
I am concerned, but also I guess a little relieved that they are nerfing something on both the offensive and the defensive side.
Yeah, right now defense is insanely overpowered and insanely strong. So, yeah.
So, but it's only been that way for a little while, for me anyway. Well, so yeah. I hate to see it go.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't have the carrier, because some people, you got it in the. When did it come out? It
came out in a bounty 36 or 37. I don't remember the number.
I think it was probably 37. So that was 2 months ago, and then it takes a month to build if you don't coin it. So some people have had that in their base for probably 2 months, and some people have only had it in their base for
a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had it in my base for longer than 2 weeks, and I didn't coin it.
No. I'm saying, but you got it in bounty. You got it in bounty.
It took me, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 times when shards were offered to finally get mine. So.
Yeah, and then there was the TLC. I was just showing the TLC came out last week, so I guess we knew something was up. It was the TLC that you could do with your Photons or Zealots came out last week that allowed you to earn all of the shards for it. So
So the people that are finally getting it now are about to realize it's not as good, or it won't be.
Well, why will it not be as good? It's insanely good.
Because of all the Conqueror upgrades and things that are coming down the pike.
yeah, it's not as impactful. It's still impactful, and I wouldn't,
It's super impactful.
Well,
Yeah.
right now, yeah.
Yeah. But what she's saying is, once these upgrades get implemented, it might not be as impactful as it was historically, but it's still, in my mind, it's still worth getting, because otherwise,
Oh, yeah.
you're in a world hurt if you don't do that. So you still need to get it, and you still need to build it, but it's not the the silver bullet that it was historically.
I don't know if I agree with this, but
but again, we don't know when some of these updates occurred in regards to the, because you pair it with the Bayfield depth charge, and it's really quite ferocious. And again, nobody knows what the impact of these U2s are going to be. And I think that's what she was getting at. These
That's
Yeah.
what I was
U2s,
getting at.
yeah,
Yeah.
are used
I can buy that
to
argument.
combat what's going on. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
But it would still is impactful. It's just from your starting offense is a little bit stronger now, so it's still not going to. It's a little bit more balanced. It's not going to be an instant I win with the right design, but it will still be very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah. I think that's what we're saying. So, all right, let's go on to the armors. Yeah, you've already seen these. All right. I'm only showing the D6X. We have one of these for all damage types. On the left-hand side, we have the new armor, which is it's a blueprint, not limited, which make a lot of people happy. The other thing that's going to make people happy is the power consumed is basically half of the previous generation, while you almost tripled the well you almost tripled the deflection. I was just sort of looking at the rankings, and I'm like wondering if this is going to show up as in the retrofit. That was what my pause was.
Oh god. Yeah, because without the rank 15, it looks about. Yeah, get power crept.
So what's the difference? It's just more deflection.
Have
Yeah,
the
but
power
less
crept
and less
power.
power, which is
Less power.
good for defenders.
Yes.
Get
Well,
get power crept.
it's supposed to be good for the defenders.
How would it not? How would it be bad for the defenders?
No, it wouldn't. I said it's supposed to be good for the defenders.
Yeah, that was
Okay, I
it.
see.
Yeah. So, you have to get all of them. Or we'll get through there as far as the cost. And these are not limited. You earn one, you can slap it on all your turrets. So, but they are getting all of them is potentially pricey in bounty. We're not sure when they're next going to be released. Pillage, raid, some
Feature bounties.
TLC.
They'll probably be in feature bounties. Forsaken Mission. Yeah, they might throw them in wherever.
Yeah. Well, I
It'll be a
think
while though.
I think they're going to show up in something besides feature bounties.
Something in addition to feature bounties, sure.
Yeah.
What's the most important one to get? I mean, we have explosive damage in a little bit of Warhounds, also the Hellswarms. We've got concussive damage in the Warhounds. We've got ballistic damage in the Trencher, missile damage a little bit in the Trencher. What's the important stuff?
Don't know.
Roll a d6.
Say D6.
Roll a d6.
We don't know. We don't know what's coming out next, right? So
Hence, roll. Game design Brian is like having a stroke looking at this. It's so tilting. It's like, yeah, let's just keeping the armor points the same. I think is nice because just to. I guess I didn't want the turret armor itself to balloon, but like, yeah, let's have the power and also triple the deflection while keeping all stats the same. It's just like, normally, I don't know, I'd want this to be like 2,000 power, but also then you're running into base power issues as a whole, blah, blah, blah. But they also got to
two
sell
thousand
this.
power, you would.
you're-
I actually like the way they did this because if it was going to be, if they were going to increase the power, you would want double the armor points and like 10 times the deflection in order to compensate. But now people are complaining that they don't have enough power in their base. So if you lower the power, now it's a compromise.
But also, well, I don't know exactly how people armor their turrets these days, but if you had, let's say, 3 D5Xs on a turret, you could take them all off and put on one 2,000 power one, and you're saving about 3,000 power ish.
Yeah.
And then you can put another of these 2,000 power things on, and you're getting a bunch of deflection on a whole new type and still saving 1,000 power. Like in practice, I get it, but in the abstract concept, it's like, wow, they sure did power creep the heck out of this.
Yeah, now there's no reason. The old thing gives you the same armor points, gives you less defensive benefit, and costs more power.
It reminds me a lot of the I don't know if anybody's taken a look at the Tesla. Did you say Tesla roofs? No. The Tesla roofs. Tesla makes cars, they make solar panels, and they make roofs. I'm not sure if anybody's aware of this.
Yeah, I'm aware. I follow them a little.
Okay. But you see what's going on with the Tesla roofs. They generate power, right? And they are tougher than your shingles, your tile, or whatnot, right?
Yep, that's a fair statement.
And this is what this is doing.
So-
you're lowering your power consumption that you need to pay for. You're making them tougher, but you gotta spend up front in order to get the Tesla roof. And they're not bad looking, right?
You're not wrong.
Next question. When are Catgirl robots coming to BP?
Which kind of robots?
Elon Musk tweeted a thing about Catgirl robots. It was a poll.
Oh, okay.
I'm a weird person. Maybe.
Did you say tactical robots?
I said Catgirl robots, but they might also get
tactical or cat girl. Which one are you saying?
Catgirl.
Okay, Catgirl robots. Okay, well,
I'm liking that.
Who's to say they can't also be tactical, though? They could be tactical Catgirl robots that are also spies. This is a movie. Get on it, Michael Bay. Scrub.
Solar-powered sex toys. That is the next generation, correct?
I have never.
Yeah, all the sun helps kill all the.
You've jumped a couple of steps with that,
But it's dark up there. I guess you charge it outside beforehand. Also, it's winter. This is the worst time for this.
Okay. I don't know. Let me see. Do we have any more? This might be in the last slide. No, we got the store next. You want to go ahead and pop over to this? There we go. 25K for the Archimedes, 20K for each of the turret armors. And then you have, there's actually some value to be had in buying more upgrade kits at one time, which is, it's not something that we've seen before, correct?
Yeah.
It's just been before they just had it to reduce number of clicks, but
Yeah.
We
Now
should all.
now you're getting a bulk buyer discount.
are you a Hellswarm?
Yeah.
You multiply by 4. That's the same.
It's the 10,000 the 400 to 1,000.
Okay, so that is times what?
Double
2.
into double the cost for 2.5x the kits. That is a benefit.
Okay, so you're saving some there. Well, maybe I'll have to get all 20,000 for each three ships.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'll have to enjoy it. Doesn't mean I'll have to enjoy the 10-day upgrade for you 1 and 10-day upgrade for you 2. But
enjoy the gal. Who makes that commercial? Is that Sherman?
Sherman.
Yeah, there you go. Enjoy the gal. So
I go for the better picker upper.
Competitor to Bounty in some form or fashion, Sherman.
Okay.
They did give us more carrying capacity of upgrade kits. It's
So now we
2,000.
can hold enough to go a whole fleet from 0 to U2 if we wanted to.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really my priorities.
Derpy, do you want to hit your target of choice in bounty?
Yeah,
Or?
I'm in the middle of the 97 right now. I can share the next one I go through. I just have gone through all the targets one time. The 64 and 67 are both low-level ones that are very, very easy, that pay out very few points, same as last bounty. The ships might be a bit different in the 64. Those are the 2 powder keg targets. In terms of the quartermaster targets, we have a level 97, which is the good one you want to hit. I'll do that in a minute. And a level 120, which is acceptable, I would say. And then the captain, the high-level stuff, we have a level 93, which you should not hit unless you like direct pain to the face, and a 119, which is just barely acceptable. I think that about covers all of them. Might have missed one in there.
So 97 is still the sweet
and,
spot.
Yeah, it is. And there are more targets, but it's a lot of grind. You can only hit maybe 3 or 4 before your fleet's dead if you're not instant repairing, which is not my favorite thing to do at all.
Okay. All right, so you're repairing now, and then you're going to screen share, and we can see what the process is in the 97.
Yep, and I've been doing everything here with 5 Warhounds at U0 with all the limited bells and whistles. So.
Okay. Alrighty.
Bounty looks extremely similar to last month, although I think the upgrade kits are a lower price, even if you're not buying in bulk.
Okay. Like they're doubling like they did with the Everest.
What? No, I thought it was the opposite. I thought last month it was.
Well, not bounty. I'm talking about the raid, where they jacked up the price for the Everest kits relative to.
I think they reduced it this time, but compared to last bounty, I don't know if you still have that slide, or if anyone looks on forums. But
yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Mm-hmm.
You to play the extremely exciting game. Don't know if I've hit the 112. This is probably half centaurs. I might come back to that at the afterward.
Okay.
You have to play the extremely fun game of scrolling across the map looking for the 1 or 2 targets you can do and that exist and that aren't already damaged in some way that screws things up. Interesting. Also a 108. I'll have to check that one out as well. And it's extremely difficult to get into, moderately to good player bases these days. So not many people are actually hitting other people's bases, and I'm not going to be worried about my unsecure bounty too much, at least. Come on. Will anybody have anything fun while I'm scrolling the map?
I'm just trying to decide if I want to do bounty. The only reason that I might is because I'm off work. So I'm going to have time that I didn't have before. I just don't know if I want to spend it doing this.
Yep. Here we go. So I do these things. I cheat, and I do these 97 bases in 2 hits. I do have a Grease Monkey crew on because I was dying in a few of these and doing repairs with coins. So instead of spending 12 coins, I spent 6. You don't need this crew for this. It just, yeah. I start on the top right, instantly move forward because you're already in range of the Overlord carrier, and target the first portal. Set that thing up while stacking up, and then run away while the little piranhas chase after you. The tricky part's staying in the top corner out of range of these things. If you can manage to get them to shoot at separate ships, you could try that. I always attempt it, but I don't know. Here we go. That worked. Because they make your deflections lower. If they're both hitting the same ship, they might actually start doing damage before you kill them. If they're hitting different ships, they probably won't do damage before you kill them. So that's my tactic. It should be instant repair just killing these 2 things on map. If not, you'll have to go to base and hope someone didn't steal it, or just charge through in 1 hit. I think it's literally the same exact target as last time. I don't see any of the new short-range turrets. It's just these scattergun type things here. So you kill those things, I retreat, repair on map, go back in. I guess I shouldn't click twice, so I don't have the ghost battle starting like I did in the raid. Okay, then you just charge directly through, try and get under the Overlord carrier inside its minimum range as quickly as possible. Do that by staying to the outside of its aura range, targeting the portal, and stay moving so all those scatter guns don't hit you. Then I like to target the gatekeepers because once I'm under the Overlord, they are the only things that can possibly do damage to me. You do take decimator shots going in, so be careful about that. That's where your damage comes from. Occasionally, they tend to go a little bit more on one ship than the others, so you take maybe 10 minutes damage on one ship, 3 minutes on the others. Other than that, once you're in here and the gatekeepers are dead, it's fairly simple.
Okay. Yeah, is this still a current employee? Because this looks like the same design from last month.
Yeah, it does. And I'm not aware of anyone who's in the last month who's had some turnover, but
Okay.
Don't hit the level 93 is all I have to say.
Feisty?
Yeah, it sinks my fleet.
I see. So definitely feisty. You know, are they allowed to? In case that people allowed to develop alts, or are these new people? You know, is this
Yeah,
like
I'm not sure.
is this like Geely getting into the game?
Yeah. I think they are. I think Half Centaur runs the 64 or runs the 70 rather. Well, that's 22 minutes damage because I got a Grease Monkey crew on. So, but there you go. You can hit the target and get not half bad results.
Okay.
And if you think hitting that thing 50 times is going to be exciting, then you're going to love Bounty. If you don't, you probably won't like Bounty.
So none of the. What about the smaller bases?
The level 64 and 70 are doable, but they pay half the price. They pay half the payout, or about that.
Damage relative? Is it about the same damage or more?
Damage is lower, but it's probably still around instant repair if you have my fleet. If you don't have a worse one, maybe hit the 64 and 70. I could show screenshots or video grabs of those ones actually. But there's nothing really exciting there. They're the same as previous months. I have not looked at the 108 or the 112 at this point. So,
See, it's hard for us PvP people to find a way into Bounty.
well, the Kixeye employee bases are the best path for that. So
Yeah, but they're still hard for people that don't PvP.
There are at least 3 that are very doable for people who don't really PvP much.
The 97, the 74, and
64
the
and the 97,
Okay.
the 97, 70, and 64.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to show us here, or?
Oh, I was just going to hit the 112 and see if there's anything exciting there. You can feel free to keep me on screen or not. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. While we're doing that, I'm going to post a link in case anybody wants to join the show that has any questions or whatnot. So the link's out there.
Interesting.
So this is the Half Centaur.
Yeah, it looks a bit different. The Overlord's in a different spot, so.
So if you can only get one thing, what do you get?
Roll a d6 and pick your favorite armor, I'm guessing.
I'm planning on going for some Conqueror upgrades.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting locked out by not having a Conqueror upgrades.
Yeah, I'm getting upgrade kits. I don't even have U1 yet. I've got one. I think I have 2 ships out of my entire 15 or 16 Tier 9 Conquerors that are at U1. So I'm going to start upgrading more. I mean, I have a Conquest Yard. It should be doing some things. My base is good enough already because base defense is so strong right now, so it doesn't really need help. And I'll hope those other things show up in Pillage or wherever else. Oh, this base has the new turret in it. So here you go. Looks like this. Shoots you from far away.
Yeah. But you only take significant damage if you're in range of the Overlord?
What does being in the range of the Overlord do in terms of changing that turret damage?
it shreds or whatever it does.
The piranha would do
Helps
that.
the piranha. It just helps the piranha.
It does its own shredding.
No, the Overlord does not shred your deflections in any way.
What?
Yeah,
It makes your piranhas shred twice as strong, but it does not itself do any deflection shredding.
It makes your okay.
It just slows you down.
Let's see. Edit. Now, I don't want to find and replace. 1 second.
Looks like this turret is clearly not blocked by mountains. And it has a fairly large firing arc. It's this kind of thing that I don't think Pixar really gets. I can hit this base and take 75% of my fleet worth in damage for 2,000 bounty points, where I need to do 10 of these for the whole. Losing 10 fleets, hitting 10 things for 4 entire fleets worth, that's not worth it to me. Like, that's not a trade-off that makes sense. So I'm not going to hit this thing an additional time because it does so much damage. It's just not worth it.
I think they think you're playing it because you enjoy it.
I would like to hit a base and do something because I enjoy it. That's why I'm doing all these things once. But
Right.
I mean, look, you're pretty deep into BP. You might be a masochist.
if I found the light, if I could find an escape, I would do it.
As a cow, he's definitely a masticator. But
aren't we all though? Aren't we?
If I saw a way out, I would take it.
Two piranhas and re-enter with the UAV and bone, take no damage. I prepper out the piranha.
Yeah,
First
Liga, you want to build my hellstorms for me? You want to refit them for me?
Yeah. So
I guess I could try using those, a bit later. But there's the 112. 40 minutes of damage times 2.
okay. Alrighty. Well, nobody wants to join or have additional questions. I guess we will proceed to the after show. Unless anybody has any last minute questions or comments. Yep. Okay. Well, we'll see you all on Friday, and we'll know more about the ship show because the ship show has not dropped yet. So
I'll check one final time here just to see if it's on forums, but
it's not in the announcement.
To see?
Well, I'm like, it's an old ship show. I'm like, what are they going to do there? I don't know.
It's already a week late based on the calendar.
No.
For the record, I do not ship Harlock and Greta.
Okay.
Oh, it's that kind of ship show.
Somebody got it.
So, yeah. So, you don't know when we're gonna see it, but yeah, no info on the Ship show. So maybe on Friday, maybe the crowning glory of the show. So y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and you know, put a turkey on, put a mask on that turkey, and you all do
And if
well.
you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, have a perfectly normal Thursday.
Okay, look.
Wait,
you want-
wait, Derpy.
Yeah.
So you're anti Thanksgiving?
No, just have a normal Thursday. Have a I hope your Thursday goes well.
And
Okay.
also,
I was just curious if there was some sort of political reason behind not liking Thanksgiving. I could understand.
Well, I could make some up
I
if you
mean-
wanted me to.
well, you don't even really have to make it up. You just have to read actual history books. Yeah, by the way, with what we're doing, with what most people do to their turkeys and, the stuffing of the turkeys, mask doesn't save you, and that's way more unhygienic.
Yeah. Don't put the stuffing in the turkey. Actually, this year, I'm not even cooking a whole. I bought a whole turkey. Yesterday I went a little Dexter on it, and it's now in easy enough pieces to put in garbage bags and dispose of in Biscayne Bay. Or I can salt them a day before, let the skin dry out, and it's going to cook in half the time. So that's what I'm doing associated with it. I know everybody got the Dexter references, but that's what I'm doing with the turkey.
So you chopped it into bits. I'm
Well,
hearing.
It's now a leg, 2 leg and thighs, 2 wings, 1 single breast. I cut the backbone out. I roasted the backbone and the wingtips today, and I'm going to turn those into stock tomorrow, starting early. And that's the way I'm rolling. My house, we don't have okay, there's the turkey. Look how beautiful it is. I've cut the backbone out and chopped it in pieces, and I think it's going to work out pretty well.
I've heard good things about spatchcocking, which is removing the spine and kind of laying it flat and cracking the ribs.
About what now?
I know where I am.
You never heard of a turducken?
No, that's a gross abomination gangbang. You need different tags for that.
Yeah. No, I've spatchcocked and then I've grilled. But this time, I don't consider it spatchcocking because I've cut off the backbone and then chopped the rest of it. I consider it dexterizing the bird as opposed to spatchcocking, because I've done it, for the last, I don't know how many years I've spatchcocked it, where you cut out the backbone. You start with the Pope's nose and you just cut out the rest of it, and then you flatten the bird out, and then you can throw this on the grill and you can smoke it, and it cooks in way faster, and it's way easier to do. But some people complain that they don't like the grilled turkey. Some people love it. Like, remember you did this back when it was really good? Yeah, that's when I grilled the bird and spatchcocked it. And just, you got to break some bones, which maybe some people don't like, because you gotta your turkey from a round thing to a flat thing, but it's all good.
It might be a good way to pre-relieve some holiday stress.
Actually don't like doing it, and in order to cut the backbone out of a turkey, it takes some work. I mean,
yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah, because I have some kitchen shears, and it's still difficult to do, and I would not recommend anybody try to do it with a knife unless they have pretty good health insurance, because the chances
So-
of slipping,
So not Americans.
Not America.
yes,
Got him.
yes. So, but
that's
despite all we said, we wish you all the best in Thanksgiving, and have a good time with your nearby family that live in your house, and hopefully 2021 will be a better Thanksgiving for everyone involved.
Yeah, but rather see grandma on Zoom than in the ICU.
Or Pornhub, but we'll leave it for another day. So,
God damn it.
so see y'all on Friday, and wish you all the best of luck, and see you then. Later.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.